Hey KSAT TV, from sports and food to presidents and parks. Here's 20 random facts about San Antonio you might not have known. We are home to Seaworld, one of the largest marine life parks in the world, with about 416 acres and the tallest, fastest, and longest wooden roller coaster in Texas. According to Yahoo Travel, San Antonio is one of the most haunted places in the country, with many haunted historical sites, hotels, and even parks. Speaking of parks, San Pedro Park is the oldest park in all of Texas. It was an early settlement dating back to 1729. San Fernando Cathedral downtown is the oldest cathedral in the state. It was established in 1730. Another downtown staple is the Milam Building. It was the first high-rise in the United States to have air conditioning. The San Antonio Missions were named a World Heritage Site in 2015 and are the only ones in Texas. San Antonio is considered the most Catholic city in the United States. That's because Pope John Paul II deemed it that during his visit in 1987. That mass had a crowd of over 350,000 people and was one of the biggest crowds in Texas history. President Lyndon B. Johnson has Texas roots. He was born about 70 miles away in Stonewall, and he and his wife, Lady Bird, married at the St. Mark's Episcopal Church downtown. It's also believed that President Theodore Roosevelt recruited the Rough Riders at the Minger Hotel. Ever wondered about the logistics behind the dirt for the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo? Well, it's the same dirt that was purchased back in 1988. It's cleaned, refined, and recycled every year. Otherwise, it would cost nearly $25,000 to replace each year. Back in 1993, it cost $186 million to build the Alamo Dome. This was in hopes of bringing an NFL team to the Alamo City. We're still waiting. Speaking of sports, did you know Shaquille O'Neal actually got his start in San Antonio? He led Cole High School to a state championship back in 1989. Keeping with a basketball theme, the San Antonio Spurs have won 5 NBA championships and are the only former ABA team to do so. The Spurs went into the NBA in 1976. Now let's talk food. Fritos were invented in San Antonio by Charles Dulin in 1932, and his mom reportedly came up with Frito Pie shortly after. New Mexico also tries to take credit for the chili and cheese concoction. Either way, it's a big hit at local concession stands. There are 926 Church's Chickens across the country, but the first one ever opened up across the street from the Alamo back in 1952. Gatorade was invented by San Antonio native Robert Cade. He noticed how football players couldn't urinate after games because they sweat so much. That's why the drink is made up of plenty of salt and sugar. Thanks to Lanier High School, we hold the world record for the most tamales ever made. Their culinary program made 17,132 back in 2011. The Alamo City holds another Guinness World Record for the tallest Cowboy Boots structure. You've probably seen these 35-foot tall boots outside of North Star Mall. The famous boots weigh 10,000 pounds and were brought here in 1980. San Antonio is home to the nation's first all-digital library bibliothèque. It opened in 2013 and it's completely free. Locals and visitors alike can get a little taste of Mexico at the historic Market Square. It's the largest Mexican market on this side of the Rio Grande, and it's believed to have been around since the 1700s.